Oh, my best real estate transaction yet. You know, a lot of people would think it would be your most expensive piece of property that you ever sold. You know, I've done a $32 million transaction. I've done a $25 million transaction. They're the relatively large ones. But my best real estate transaction happened when I was a young agent and I was putting a sign on a property. And it was a lady coming down the street and she was pulling a little cart, and you could tell that, you know, she did some kind of domestic work with some kind of maid or something. And I was feeling good that day, and so she walked by and said, "Hey, how you doing?" She said, "Hi, how are you?" And I said, "I'm fine." She said, "I see you putting a sign on that property. Are you going to rent it?" And I go like, no, it's for sale. Why don't you buy it?" And she looked me straight in the face and said, "I can't buy a house." And so it kind of got my attention. It's like, what do you mean you can't buy a house? She said, "Oh no, I couldn't do that." And that started a conversation. And what I found out from that lady was her grandfather had lost a house during the Depression. He had taught his 9 kids, you never buy a house because you could lose it. Her father had taught his 7 kids, you never can buy a house because you could lose it. And this lady was like in her mid-50s, and she had never owned a piece of property or any of her siblings. So I said to her, "Let's have a chat." And we talked. She had good savings. She had an income to buy the house. And she had the credit to buy the house. And the house would have been less than what she was paying in rent at the time. So I talked with her and I worked with her and I convinced her to buy this little $52,000 bungalow. And that was truly the best real estate transaction I did. The day after she closed, I came over to the house. Her brothers, her sisters, her nieces and nephews, everybody was there helping her move into the house. It was, I cried. I can't. I stood in the yard and I cried. And having the opportunity to teach someone about the value of home ownership, having the opportunity to showing folks that you can do this. It's amazing, but there's a lot of folks that don't believe that they can buy a house. Not that they don't want one, they just don't believe they can buy one. Not only shifted her worldview, but shifted the worldview of the rest of her family. So you know, from the real estate perspective, I probably 4 transactions from that family. But yeah, that $52,000 bungalow on Griffin Avenue was the best real estate deal I ever did in my life. Absolutely, without question, bar none.